Mom's out. Hi, we are working on this new thing. We're trying to time ourselves to see if with a delay she can start saying, the woo 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 part. So that anyway, you'll see. I'm Ray, and this is Paula. And today we are going to be talking about body positivity, what that's like after having kids, and what if you want to fix yourself? I know.
Dun, dun,
Big
dun.
done. Big words. Because, okay, we talk a lot about the importance of, sort of accepting ourselves. We're big on talking about topics that are not widely talked about enough because otherwise we feel like we would have heard about it and we never did. And we both struggled a lot postpartum with our first babies because, we both found ourselves not knowing who we were and just sort of like, at least for me, I remember feeling like I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to have to go back to anything, but I genuinely felt like I was failing at something. And it was also really confusing because all I had heard was that when you breastfed, you would lose weight.
Lose
Nobody
weight.
once had mentioned the hungers that come when you breastfeed, the amount of fat
Yeah.
retention your body makes so that you can keep producing, healthy milk for your babies. That if you stop
Can we actually
eating,
talk
you
about that?
stop
Like, where
producing.
did this come from? Like, where did this
Yeah.
idea that you lose weight with breastfeeding? Were not people like
I
not
think
eating? Were women before not eating? In the
I think the myth is that okay, you lose calorie, you burn a lot of calories when you're producing breast milk, right? And the fat storage that your body produces during pregnancy are for producing milk. But until you're done feeding, your body is not keen on getting rid of those, first of all. And it's also why it's so important that you keep yourself not fasting or doing anything that releases toxins when you're breastfeeding, because
yeah.
otherwise it leaks into your system and therefore into your milk. And so like when you understand this, you understand why we retain all the fat and all that stuff when you're breastfeeding. And so for however long you're breastfeeding, your body is going to hold on to some changes. And then when you're done breastfeeding, it's going to take your body a while to process these changes. And that depends on who we are. Does that mean that you can't, get fit, look great, try to look better, try to look whatever it is that better is to you, feel healthy, etc.? No. But I just feel like we also should talk about the fact that when you're breastfeeding, you're famished. And when you're alone with a baby hanging from you at 3 in the morning, you're more likely to grab a snack. And when you're, up with a baby that doesn't sleep for 3 or 4 hours, you're more likely to grab whatever's ready rather than sitting down and making a healthy meal. And that when you're underslept for the 12th night in a row, you're less likely to get up and go to the gym, and that maybe it's okay.
That
It's
is
okay,
definitely
you
okay. It's
know?
okay. There's nobody's tracking you. Nobody needs to like, yeah. And I think it's also the idea on the bouncing back and that you when you don't because of everybody like for me for instance everybody told me like, I was pregnant and I was so tiny. Oh my God, yes, you will like bounce back. People that weren't even never been pregnant before were telling me this. Were telling me like, "Ow, you would not even." As soon as that baby comes out, you'll have nothing. You'll
Oh,
just be like
it's
exactly like
because
before. Ah,
those
like,
people are
all right, I
probably the
believe
biggest
that.
experts.
But like I was told this so much, like I internalized it. Like after obviously I didn't go back because it takes bloody fucking time. And also I wasn't even being trying to be as healthy as one would. I was just thinking like, oh, I used to eat everything before. I'm gonna eat everything now and not do anything. Um and yeah, and then obviously I didn't get my body back and I just hating myself and not doing anything about it, but also just holding on to the idea that everybody said I was going to bounce back.
Yeah.
But where as well, like we get hold on to this idea because we just talk about bodies like way too much. Like we just compare ourselves
Yeah.
to again this ideal that exists that somehow someone said that this is the ideal woman, and
I
we
think what you
since
just said
then,
at the beginning that we talk about bodies way too
oh
much.
yeah,
That right there
people think they have
resonates so
opinions.
much, so much. Like coming from a
Like
Hispanic culture, when you arrive somewhere at a Cuban home, the first thing that anybody will say, the first thing is a comment about your appearance. Like, I
Yep.
grew up in a
Yep.
culture, and like now you said this, and I'm like, yeah, but of course. Literally, the second we meet someone or somebody
Yeah.
arrives through our door, it's like, oh my God, you're gaining weight. Oh, you're so skinny. Are you doing well?
Yes.
Oh wow, look at the wrinkles. Oh my God, you gotta dye your hair. Oh, did you get implants? Oh what? It's just like,
Yep, 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 yep. It's always about the appearance, and it's always about how we look. Like I remember, I also my auntie, one of my oldest, like my dad's auntie, she told me that I looked fat on when I was pregnant,
nice.
and my mom was like, "Oh, she's pregnant," and then she was like, "No, no, she's also fat. It's not, no, no, it's not just a pregnancy. No, no, no. There's
No,
something
no,
else."
no.
And it's like,
Yes.
you don't know. Like I am already pregnant. Please, I already feel like a peach. But it's just
Wow.
we just talk so much, and we always have an opinion.
And it's
And
and it's either way. It doesn't matter what you look like. I have a cousin
no,
who's
no, no. Or
notorious
you're
for
too
commenting.
skinny, or you're too,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
too.
She always comments. So before it was, oh, you stay fat after having kids. Oh, you never
Mm,
lost weight. You stay fat. And I was like, yeah, I haven't been able to lose the baby weight. And I used to feel really bad about this, by the way. And I would tell
yeah,
her, yeah, like I feel bad that I haven't been able to bounce back. And she's like, yeah, yeah, you're fat just like me. And I'm like, okay. So now we're bullying both of us. Okay. And so then later on, I've discovered biohacking, and I also stopped breastfeeding. My toddler outgrew her need for my body, so my body was able to start, and I was able to take a little bit
healing.
more time and I started to take more time to focus on me because I'm not in that season anymore. And so I eventually went to an ideal body weight similar to what it was before, and to feeling healthy and energetic and all the good stuff. And and then she messages, oh my God, you're so skinny. You don't even look like you had kids. Is that supposed to be a compliment? And then Right? And then, how
Yeah.
did you do it? Did you starve yourself? I see you eating all the time. Are you bulimic? And I'm like, I had a friend I had a friend, family friend of my family. It's like, my mom's side of the family, who messaged me and said, I was so afraid for you because I've been seeing all the pictures you're posting of all the food you're eating on vacation. I was like, she's gonna continue getting fat. How have you lost so much weight? I was like, afraid for me.
What? Why are people like this? Like this, exactly. This is exactly what I mean. Is like, what? Who who gave you the right to even talk about it? And the problem is that, like, even when you comment on, the fact that you were skinny, you could have literally had a eating disorder, and she
But
would just be
also
like,
the issue is not even the fat or the skinny, it's the fact that we even talking about the
no,
bodies. Like, why are the bodies a thing for,
exactly. But
like,
like,
hey, did you finish
that's just
school?
so
Like, what are you doing with your job? Hey, I heard you started a business. How's that going? Oh, you're a mom now. Like, but like, why is it always like, it's so funny. Like, it's in my culture, there's a joke, like in my house with my brother, my sister, we joke that like, you call anybody in my family and you mention a celebrity if you want them to start talking about like, oh, like J-Lo. Oh my God, have you seen her body for her age? She's doing so good. But I heard she has cellulite too, and it's just like, guys, this woman just released her like 40th film. She's a billionaire, self-made, like all these crazy things, and we're just
and
gonna
she
talk
made
here
it.
about her
Yeah,
abs.
but
All we're
yeah,
talking about
that's
is
all that
her
matters.
abs and how she has no cellulite. Like, is
Yeah,
this really her biggest accomplishment? Like,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's so
Nobody is looking
crazy.
at moms and saying, like, oh, look, she just survived 4 months postpartum where she was probably struggling mentally. It's her first
Yeah,
child. Nobody's talking about that. No, everyone is talking about how the fact that she didn't bounce back, or the fact that she bounced too much. And it's like too skinny, making us feel bad, because that's also the other way, like, oh, you're too skinny for 4 months after having a baby. So, you're also why, and I didn't do that, so I'm going to be annoyed at you because you did it, and you also this definitely have a eating disorder, because nobody can do that. Okay, this is like the whole conversation, the full spectrum, and you just go in a circle, and it's never ever ever good enough, because everybody talks about bodies as if we could measure them. Like,
Or
it's
as
just so
if,
hard.
or as if our only accomplishment is the body. Like, are we really just our bodies? Is this really all we are? But
Why
also,
do
I
we have
just
to
had
go to
a
uni? Why do we go to school? Nothing to do with our bodies. you
I
know?
had a horrible realization right now, which is perfectly depicting the society we're living in. I'm 4 months postpartum, and I don't think anybody has asked me yet how I'm feeling mentally. Nobody has taken the time to say, "Hey, how are you doing? Like, how have you been mentally?" Nobody, not any family member, not any friend. Nobody has. 4 months. Nobody has come to me and said, "Hey, like, how are you doing mentally?" Nobody.
Not even me.
Nope.
Oh, well, that's rude.
Nope.
How are you doing mentally? Let's take a moment to
But I
talk
mean,
about that
but
because
I,
it's very
but I
important.
mean, granted, it's crazy. There's so much going on, like, but it's insane because I just realized that I haven't, yeah, I don't, nobody has come and been like, "Hey, how are
But to
you?"
be
Like,
fair, you have told me that you've never been in a better place. So that's why I've not
right,
asked
right,
you.
right. Like people like you, probably my
But
mom already knows
obviously,
that, but
like
I'm saying,
we do talk
I
every
have had
single day. So I
people.
think it's a bit different.
Yeah, but I also have had people come to me and say like, "Oh, hey, did you, like, how are you doing? Did you bounce back?" Like I've had cousins already ask me like, "How are you? Oh, are you fitting
Wow.
back into your clothes?" My mom asked me the other day, "Did you continue losing weight?" Like after, so yeah, I've had people ask
We all
about that.
focus, yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, we focus on the wrong things. We always focus on the wrong thing. We always forget the mums as well. Like there's also that thing where
yeah.
everybody now focus on the baby, nobody's focusing on mum. And yeah, women are always just being like
Hmm.
left. Like I think things are getting better, like
For
progressively, but
sure.
damn, we
Because
still
of
have
these
so
type
much to go.
But I think things are getting better because of these types of conversations, right? Like we need to be able to have these conversations. We need to be able to open up to one another and be vulnerable and say things. I met a mom a few years ago when Alaska was very little that like it broke my heart seeing how devastated she was about her body not being what she wanted it to be. And it all stemmed because she came from a culture where she was literally deemed worth less because she wasn't able to get her
Because
body back. Like she was so defined by her beauty and her ability or inability to get her beauty back was just it was too much. It was too much. And mentally she was struggling so hard. And I think of her often because she's a badass woman, who's doing crazy things that I admire. And to get that moment right. And so cool for her that she opened up and she ended up getting help and now she's in a much better place. But for me, it was a big wake up call because I was also, I think, internally dealing with that, maybe at a different level of the scale in that moment. But it sort of like helped me gather the strength to not continue pushing myself towards you need to look a certain way. You need to lose the weight.
yeah.
Where's your waist? Why is your waist not back? Why do you have a pooch all the time? Like, oh my gosh, your cellulite. Oh my God, your booty. Oh my God, you're a size 10. La 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 la, right? And it gave me the strength to sort of sit there in that uncomfortable place of like, I'm gonna look in the mirror and not like what I see, and that's okay. But I'm not gonna sit here and make these seasons about that because I need to get to a place of loving all of this, whatever it looks like, right? Because I am not the body alone. And so I think that the more we talk about these things, the more, like I can tell you straight up, I don't love the way I look right now. Like I look in the mirror and I'm not looking at it and going like, ooh. I have times where I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, girl, this is not it right now. But I'm also okay with it. This is not the season where I'm focusing on my body. It's not even the season where I'm focusing on my health. Today I made a commitment to you of start doing squats. I just got excited that you're doing it. I'm like, oh, let's do a challenge. But it didn't even come from a place of it's gonna give me abs or whatever. I just want to feel a little bit better on my legs,
Like
especially. I feel
active,
like it's so
yeah.
much jelly. Like it's just like like let's get it going. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel active, to feel energetic, to have less
Yeah.
jelly, to feel your body to feel your body because I love feeling my muscles, even if they're under 3 pounds of fat or 20 pounds of fat, right? Like it's fine. It's fine to want to look a certain way from a healthy place of when I look this way, I also feel different, right? I feel confident, but I also feel more energetic. I also feel more able to move, to lift like I remember when I was postpartum with Alaska, I had a short season because I had, I think, nobody to lean on. And I think it's so good to have somebody to lean on in these
Yeah.
seasons. And that's how you and I started getting healthy also as well, finding our health journey in the postpartum because we found each other. We started like walking every day. We will walk and then go to the bakery and get pastries and coffee. So it's not like we
Yeah.
were so centered on
But we
losing weight.
walked.
but it was about building that energy, that momentum, that
Yeah.
desire to feel active, to want to be outside, to want to start doing something besides mothering, right? Even if it's mothering outside, but also walking and also moving and also going to cafes and also talking to friends and also, and eventually we started finding our path, right? But I feel like it's good to understand that you may not be in that place. It's good to understand that you may not get there for a while, but it's also good to realize that you might be there or that you may want to start nibbling at it, right? And that it should come from a place of I want to feel more like myself, or like I don't want to, with my first baby, I lost mentally myself like entirely. I My business, my desire to grow, my drive, my everything was like I didn't realize it. But with my
Yeah.
self-esteem, which came a lot from my ability to move, because also COVID had just happened, and it's like I went from like the most mobile person on earth to just like, it was just an awful combination of things, and the anxiety I had, and just some other things too. But like it was just so much of it that I literally lost myself entirely, like mentally and in terms of like business wise, like all gone. And bodily wise, like physically, my desire to be me physically also went a little, not as much, but a little. That was put on hold as well. I just became this mom that had like an essence of all these other things behind. And it took me a really long time to get that. And so with this next baby, I I recognized that. And I'm like, I don't want that again. I'm in this season now. I'm not saying that was wrong. That was the season I was in before. And that was okay.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that too. There was so
You
much
kind of
beauty
had to
that came with
learn. You
that.
kind of had to go through it to learn, like if
Right.
you hadn't gone through it, like you probably wouldn't be better this time around, like you wouldn't
Right.
be able to recognize it and
I
actually
wouldn't be
move
able to
away
do better
from
for
it.
myself. But I think that's the key
Exactly,
here.
exactly. Yeah,
Because I feel like there are moms that like are really busy in their first baby and then they want to stay home for their rest of their babies. Or there are moms that like struggle through one aspect of postpartum and then don't get to change that in the second because they don't feel like they need to. Or they do, and I think all of it is valid, guys. Like all of it is
yeah,
valid. And I think sitting in conversation is not to say that one thing is better than the other, or that your journey is better, or that we should be more like this, or that you should try to spend 3 years before you try to
yeah,
bounce back. I think it's about opening the floor and empowering the ownership of however our stories go. Empowering you to be the ownership of creating whatever it is that you want your story to be. If you want to, like, I have a friend online that is a marathon athlete, and she's 4 weeks postpartum, and this woman's up running at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning every day. I don't know how, but she tells me my baby is like a contact napper, and this is a person that needs her body to be moving, and she's like, if I don't run at 5 in the morning, I don't get to. I have to be sitting down with him all day, and I go crazy.
which
That's
is
what
fair
she
enough.
needs.
It's just fair
That's
enough.
what she
Yeah,
needs. Are we gonna
yeah.
sit here and judge her because, oh, look, she cares more about fitness? No, you know what
No,
I'm
it's just
saying?
that's
Like,
her thing.
that's
Yeah,
her
exactly,
thing. And
exactly.
having the freedom to be able to admire somebody else's path and recognize that it
Yes.
works for them without needing to make it our own or to make ourselves feel bad. Like, I had an instance with a post the other day, where somebody would like, I made a joke about like breastfeeding being so many hours, and if you breastfeed this many hours, now you can claim a vacation, for that much money or whatever. And somebody was like, oh, great for reminding me that since I don't breastfeed now, I just basically I get nothing then. And I'm like, can we not? Can, I'm not.
Like,
What?
just people just feel personally attacked. Like we are always feeling like we are being attacked by whatever the people say just because it doesn't apply to us, but that's not the case. And like I really like I sat the other day to myself and I was just like, but where the fuck does this come from? Like, where does this mentality comes from? That everything someone says that is different from my perspective, why do I feel personally attacked? Why do I have to be attacked by someone's opinion?
Right,
Like,
right,
why? Like, I don't care. Like, I shouldn't care. Why am I being offended because someone did something different from me? Like, what? It's crazy, but we do that. We do that. We feel so personally attacked because someone else is working out at 4 weeks postpartum and we were struggling. And it's like,
right.
we
And
two different
therefore,
people and we're
yeah.
and therefore like it's not real, it doesn't happen. No. Oh, my post, I don't know if you saw the potty training with Flynn for peeing standing up. It just
Hmm.
went viral recently, and it was because and everybody had to tell me the boys can sit and pee sitting down. And
Yes,
I
God
said
forbid.
over 100 times, this is a bloody joke because I am a woman that never thought about peeing standing
Right.
up. And now I have a boy. That's it. I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I don't care. You do you. My toddler sits down while he pees anyway. Like, it's a
Yeah.
joke. And like
Oh no,
the
it's
amount of
it's
people that
wild.
told me like that, why you shouldn't. Oh no, you shouldn't. Oh, you shouldn't. Who are you? Like, you don't know me. Telling me like, and also please read the caption because I literally say it on it. It's like, oh, put it on follow up of God.
It's horrible. There's nothing like the
But yeah,
online
it's just like,
community is it's wild. This is amplified a lot online as well. I feel like because we get this like
yeah,
situations where I feel like people are just crazy. They're unable to live in a world where somebody else may do things differently. Like the post I made about the sunsuit, and people are like they just think I'm just this degenerate mother that like I'm just like and I'm
you're
just
just
like no,
covering
no,
your
no.
child and
Yeah, like I'm just gonna I'm against sunscreen. I'm gonna let her have skin cancer, and I'm just like literally you're just not wanting to see that what I'm
yeah.
advocating for is an alternative. Like there is more than one way to do
You
things. Like
didn't read it. You and they don't read it. They don't read it.
no,
They see
forget about
like
reading.
the
They also
first.
didn't see it. They also didn't see
No,
it because in
no.
the video you can see her wearing but
It's
ah,
just like assumption. And to be fair, some people do come to the internet to blow off steam, which is fine. Like whatever you do,
yeah.
whatever you will need to do, but you don't have to come and tell people how to live their lives. Like that's not how it happens. Like yes, you can share what you do, and yes, you can talk about what you do, but don't come and tell people that they're this and that because they don't do things
I mean, can you do it
like,
that way?
exactly like you do.
Yes, but life is gonna be hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So
eh,
all this to say, all this to encourage you to take ownership of your own story, to question yourself, question your stances that are making you uncomfortable, that are creating friction in your life, that are making things difficult for you. I feel like a lot of times it's us against ourselves, sitting out there, putting rules, like or I'm body positive, therefore I'm not allowed to want to look good or want to look a certain way or want to
yeah,
change or want to wear this or like I'm this type of mom, so I don't do this or like like I challenge you to challenge your story. I challenge you to challenge your stance and to really take inventory of where you stand with things as opposed to where you stood when you created these rules. Because I feel like a lot of us are living under rules and parameters that either we set a long time ago or were set for us by other people, other beliefs, a movie we saw, a song we heard, something we heard someone say one day, and not really beliefs and morals that are true to us.
yeah,
So, I don't know if this inspires you to think a little bit about your own journey. Take inventory and feel the freedom to change as you go about and to have a different opinion and to be in different seasons of life and being okay with however your body looks like and however you want it to look like and understanding that your body is just a very small part of the equation. I
yeah.
think that's the biggest part and the biggest joke of it all is that no matter how much focus we put on the outside, guys, unless we work on the inside, it's all still gonna suck.
It's
All
literally
of it is
ten
gonna suck.
percent of you. It's literally 10% of you. It's
It's that.
nothing. Not
Yeah,
it's stop comparing yourself to
yeah,
others. Like it's
yeah.
not worth it. Like there's no need to compare because there's no comparison. There's no comparison. Like you don't have to look the same. You don't have to look a certain way, especially, and you don't have to do things because other people are doing as well online. Like just because you see someone else do it doesn't mean you have to do it. It's not how life is, and
Nope.
yeah, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
You do you. You do the best you can. You got this, girl.
Thank you for listening to another one of our episodes. Don't forget to come and say hi at Who Let the Moms Out That Pod and let us know if you have any topics, any questions, any issues, any parts of motherhood that you'd like us to talk about on our next podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh my God, it's raining. Bye.
Bye.